Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's Boys from the Baltic Star. It is Friday night, and if it's Friday night and the three of us are here, and there are three of us here, then we play Traveller. What a joy it is to be back. It's been a couple of weeks since we last played. We've left some of our crewmates in a rather precarious position, which no doubt our glorious referee will introduce shortly. But before that, it falls to me to welcome you to the channel. Thank you for joining us, whether it's your first time or your 100th time. We love having you around. It's much more fun to play with you guys of being around, interacting, knowing you're watching. It brings joy to our tired old hearts. We're going to run quite short tonight. It's my fault to blame me. It's going to be about an hour and a half. Life, etc., etc. So it shouldn't be too much. So feel free to stay around for 5 minutes or the whole lot or anywhere in between. If you want to chat, feel free to chat. Chat is friendly. Snails chatting already. If you want to chat, please do. If you want to look, please do. Me, Ben, and Ewan will join in the chat when we have time, if we're not too busy. Please interact with us, make fun with us, ignore us altogether. Things you say might turn up in the game. We're quite interactive in that regard. Because we don't yet have the 50,000 viewers I was hoping we'd have by this stage of our adventures. So we can still respond to you personally. The red sun, click the red sun, spend some of your Imperial credits. We've got a whole range of things, it's ridiculous tonight. There's some new things as well, I don't know what that is. It's a mini dinosaur, I don't know what that is. But anything pinky red should have sound connected to it. Sometimes some of them don't work for no apparent reason. Blame blurp. Otherwise, spend some points, have a click around, see what it is. Generally, the higher pointed things will interact with the lizards haven't been gained quite early this evening. We'll get them back in their cages.
I thought I'd try and get in for an early one.
Thanks, sir.
The element of surprise and all that.
The elephant of surprise. Just comes blundering in.
If elephants were lizards, that'd be way funnier.
Can we? In fact, remind me. Hang on. I'm gonna add a new one. The elephant of surprise. I don't know. It's gonna be like.
Can you make it the?
It's gonna be like the Lizards of Escapes.
The elephant song from the Jungle Book.
I'll see if I can actually. I bet they have that.
Yes, because Disney's lawyers are famously really cool with things like that.
We've already got the Beastie Boys breathing down our necks.
We can deal with it.
Famously litigious. Have a click. There's a lot of things. There's one thing we keep for 1 credit and 1 credit only, which is I'll drink to that. So if you like what's going on or you want to interact without spending too many points, raise a glass with I'll drink to that, and we'll raise a glass too. And we'll all just drink to that briefly and then carry on with our little way. That is all that nonsense. So let's do some introductions. My name is Luke. Hello, I'm in the top right-hand corner. And because we are underwater today, not literally us, but the players, I have gone water-themed with my rather terrible at the minute Miami Dolphins. Famously, as Ewan said off stream, they have blood feuds with pretty much every creature under the water. So hopefully they'll keep you safe this evening. Speaking of Ewan, I already said his name, so I've ruined my entire introduction. He is the man directly below me. Oh yeah, I play Karen Sarai, by the way. Blah 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 blah. There he is, right there. Oh, like particularly said, he is my brother from another mother. He is the housewife's favourite, and the flute. That's too adorable. And the flute master general. He's the most adorable man on the internet. Good evening, Ewan. How are you?
Hey, Luke. I'm very good, thanks. Thanks for the scratch, tickle, pat, whatever it was. It's good. Good times.
You know what? Why don't you tell us about your character? Because I forgot about mine, so you make it up with a really good introduction to your two.
I'm tempted to go one way or the other here. I play 2 characters in this campaign, much like Luke. I play Agnar Arnson, who is the second from the left on your screen, sat around the table, the floofy Varga, former military general, military tactician, and strong medic skills most of the time when the dice don't fail me. I also play Stefan Miller, who is the far right hand side of your screen on the tables.
Politically.
No. Actually, I'm not quite sure where either of mine sit politically, to be fair. I hadn't given that a thought, but I will. I will give it a thought for next week, the week after. Next time we play Traveller. He is a sneaky space rogue, dexterous character who quite enjoys a bit of streetwise and a little bit of sneaky stealth rolls. Very much. No, I'm sure you can get criminals who are far right. I'm pretty sure things have unfolded that means that is so. Yeah, okay, maybe not, but we'll see.
Either way, he looks great in a bathrobe.
He does certainly, and I don't think there are many people of that persuasion who wear quite so many bathrobes out and about. But I may be wrong.
He is very much the Hugh Hefner of the Baltic Star.
He's got to get some silk numbers now.
Speaking of silky treats, down at the bottom is the man who, if we were looking at smarts, would be right at the very top. You see, he's the smartest man in any room, who lives his entire life in the Twin Peaks dream sequence and is regularly seen out and about in Faversham, being carried on a sedan chair by 6 heavily oiled, topless Eastern European gentlemen. He is a man of the people. He's the choice of a new generation. He is Ben. Good evening, Ben. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. I am well, and very much a man of the people. Yes,
very much so. So, who do you play in this adventure, Ben?
Well, essentially, if you can imagine that there are 4 people I don't play, that's easier.
Succinct.
Yeah. Essentially, I don't play the 4 that you two play. I play everyone else.
That seems like quite a lot of work.
I mean, you'd think it would be a lot of work, but you guys make it so much easier by randomly demanding that I name an NPC that you know you're never going to talk to again.
We know
so that I have to keep fast notes on every character you've ever met, even if your only interaction was to, wave at them across a room.
I mean, we do make it somewhat easier for you by waffling on for hours and going for several.
That's true. There's always time to catch up on the notes. That much is definitely true.
Exactly. We're here for you, Ben. We're here for you. And we like to think you're here for us as well. We've got each other's backs. So that's why I'm feeling confident about this evening. I think we'll come to no harm, despite the situation, Ben. Why don't you tell us about the situation we find ourselves in?
Okay, so our party have heroically split up into 2 teams. One of those teams is heroically getting drunk on board the Baltic Star, playing with the cat, sleeping, eating. After all, they have an entire liner to enjoy. So what of the other team? Well, they've been enticed into a little exploration job. It turns out that the vast oceans that form the ecosystem of Darkmoon, along with its economy, are subdivided into sectors, each managed by a team of executives, ships, and diving equipment called bathies. Now, Sector 104 has been a bit limited in their explorations and exploitations by the presence of a large crevasse they've been told to stay away from. So, boarding ship 104-11, our party fragment, Kara, Stefan, Kron, and Zoe, are heading out to this embargoed area. The crew they're with has no idea they're in the restricted zone, of course, because Kara hacked the navigation systems on the ship. Still, they've at least learnt what the Wanderers are, a group of local criminals that seem to scare most regular people. 3 of the party, all except Zoe, have headed beneath the water in bathies, and they've been told that the depth under the keel is 12,000 metres. The bathies are tested to 10,000, but on paper, assuming they were all built to specification, nobody cut any corners, the lowest bid was not accepted, and their maintenance has been exemplary, on paper, they can do 20,000. I'm sure all of those things are true. So the bathies lower to 10,000 metres, deep in the vast kelp forests, where the distant glow of the other bathies, their lights shining green through the fronds of kelp, are the only source of illumination. Our heroes peer out into the ocean, wondering if they'll see one of those fabled triffid squids. And that's where we resume the story.
Can I briefly add? Sorry, Ben. don't want to step on your toes or anything, but in my extensive notes, along with all of those facts that you provided for us, I do have written down as well that below 12,000, no one's coming for you. I
Yes.
just thought that's, for Luke, whose notes are less extensive than mine,
Yep.
that might be a nice reminder.
Thank you. I
Definitely
appreciate
true.
Anytime.
Oh, let me make a note of that. Hang on.
Which group are we starting with? The ones on the Baltic Star.
Oh, I think we should definitely start with the ones on the Baltic Star. Can everybody roll initiative there, please? No.
X.
Wow.
We can absolutely take a little trip up to the Baltic Star if you'd like.
No. I was only being annoying.
But where we find ourselves with the group down on the planet is that they are, well, technically beneath the planet's surface somewhat.
Hey, Stefan, can you hear me? Steve, Steve. Look, look, come on, we got to stick
sort it out, Betty.
Stick to the line. That was a test to see if you're feeling the stress under here.
No, yeah, sorry, my bad. I shouldn't have answered. I tell you what, I really kind of wish Zoe was here with us. Zoe Farmer.
Zoe Farmer. Yeah, good old Zoe Farmer. At least we got Neil.
She's always there. Neil is good. But Zoe, Zoe has her back in most tight spots. It's kind of what this feels like. How much space have you got in yours? It's cramped over here.
The space is okay. Mine's got this cool function where like water comes in around your feet to keep your feet cool. It's nice.
Yeah. All I've got is these cup holders. I haven't got any cups though.
Yeah. Kron overhearing, assuming you're allowing him in on the chat.
Yeah, we like Kron.
He will join in on the chat by saying, I like the sort of weird twitching spider web detail they've got over the viewport. I think that's excellent.
Oh, is yours getting bigger by the second?
Yeah, it's sort of every now and then it's making a little click sound and it changes. I think that's really clever. It's reassuring. It means there's something going on, something happening.
I know it's not relative, but all of a sudden I feel slightly better about my situation. Thanks.
Oh, so how far apart would you say we are, Ben, in our little bathes?
Well, the vertical cable mounts produce a range of about 50 meters across the effective hexagon of the 6 bathies.
Yep.
So if you think that means that you're probably half that distance, 25 meters, from the one next to you around the ring, because that's how hexagons work.
Yeah.
And you are 50 meters from the one opposite you. But that assumes you haven't started moving around yet, because once you're at the right depth, the system equalizes pressure so you maintain that depth and then gives you more cable so you can drift around and actually begin harvesting. On the subject of which, you can start to hear the other crew, the other 3 bathies, moving around and calling out to each other, I'm harvesting now and getting it going and everything's running smooth.
Are our arms inside, or are they in some sort of like Lost in Space style flappy exterior arms?
The controls are all internal.
Wonderful.
The external mounts are controlled remotely.
Wonderful, because Kara's got an itchy nose.
Stefan's keen to Stephen is keen to keep the facade going, unlike Ewan, who keeps calling him Stefan. So he'll start looking around for some kelp, some easy looking harvest.
Okay. All right. There is no shortage of kelp. Everywhere you look, there is kelp. The the origin points of these fronds of kelp are very, very long way below you, thousands of meters below you. So you can't see where they come from, but the tops are also far away from your view. You are deep inside this kelp forest. So would you like to have a go? The way you work it basically is that you use a special device mounted to the front of the bathy. You extend it and use it to grip onto a piece of kelp. It then begins the process of drawing more and more of it in and cutting it as it goes until eventually that entire frond is cut loose, and then the frond is carried up the cable to the ship.
I certainly would. Whilst I do though, I'll open up communications again, and I'll Betty, can you send any good any nice thick patches of kelp? Which way should we be heading? Let me know. I'm just milling around until you do, and he'll engage with the harvesting. Not like that because we don't have our arms outside of the bathy, but I'm doing it anyway.
All right. Then can you please roll a dex with your vac-suit skill at -1?
Ooh, -1. Just a regular dexterity, not because I'm using that.
Dex is the base stat,
Yeah,
and your
vac-suit.
vac-suit skill, but
-1
-1.
overall. Wonderful. That is an 8 plus 2 -1 is a 9. Please, no.
Oh, good
Okay.
match.
Excellent.
As long as I don't have to move.
So you happily grip onto a nearby frond, and you watch as the machine starts sucking it in, cutting it as it goes. Essentially, it grips the frond loosely between these rotating lines of teeth, which pull it into the jaw, and it cuts as it's brought towards your end. And as soon as it's completely cut through, which takes a little while, the entire frond just disappears up as it gets carried up on the cable.
Very nice. He'll continue away and wait to hear any news from Betty. He has no idea where they are. Relatively speaking, to the.
You're doing a great job. Cara, meanwhile, then will be floating around watching Stefan's genius, or hearing of it because it's too dark, I guess, to see properly.
Well, you have lights,
Hmm.
and you can actually see the other bathies by their lights. You can see they're not in direct line of sight to you because they're lost in the kelp forest, but you can see the green glow of their lights through the fronds of the kelp.
Steve, that's great work. You're really helping out the 104 there. Bringing one to the team.
That's what I'm here for.
I'm just in case others can sort of hear or whatever. So I'm in a bit of a spot here. It's not quite as thick, but just below my feet, I can see it's really thickening up. I'm going to push down just 100 meters or so and see if I can get amongst it a bit more. Over.
Wait, underneath it a bit more or over it?
I'm gonna get in amongst it, going down 100. I can see some stuff beneath my feet. If I lower down, I should get in amongst it. Should be some good stuff down there. It's looking good.
Okay, you confused me because you said over just after you said underneath it, and I'm not sure whether you realised. We should probably get Agnar to give you a brain scan or something when we get back, just in case.
That's what our friendship is. Over.
What? No, you can't. You can't just descend off into the deep after saying stuff like that. It's very ominous. If nothing else.
Kara just starts descending.
Okay. So you want to descend 100 meters?
Yeah, let's start there. Let's see if it gets any kickback or anything from others or any queries or anything.
All right. Can you roll a dex for me plus your vac suit at -1? So whatever your vac suit is and your dex, work that out and then subtract 1.
My dex is a 0, so it'll be a 0, and my vac suit is a 1, so that will be a 0.
So it's a straight roll.
Straight rough. Don't do many of those. Yeah, some big fronds. Storms. Yeah, I think they're like 6 kilometers long fronds. So that would be pretty impressive. Yeah, they probably smoke the kelp as well. Actually, we need to ask about that. They do everything else with it. They drink it. They eat it. They make things with it. Explosives.
Glass.
Oh, I'm glad I shook for so long. 10. First up, 10.
Okay,
Like
good roll.
Good.
Okay, you start to go down. First thing, the bathy seems to be coping just fine with the additional pressure. Okay, and as you start to go down, Kron calls out that he's going to descend 50 in the hope that you'll still be able to see his lights and he'll still be able to see the lights above.
I like it.
I mean, you're all still tethered to the ship, you understand, but he's going to see what the distance looks like.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And though he does achieve that, he calls out that that additional distance now means he can't see your lights or the lights of the bathies above. The extra distance through the kelp is too much.
Has it affected the audio quality to Steve and Neil at all?
It has not.
In which case, Stefan will descend 25, I guess.
Okay.
Neil, how about now? Anything?
Can Stefan please roll a dex with vac suit -1?
Indeed. Consistent. That's an 8 plus 2 minus 1 for 9, please.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. From where you are, you can catch the slightly dull flicker of Kron's light below you, and you can see the lights above. But you can't see Kara's light.
Yeah. So roughly speaking, 25 meters light range, we're okay. I can see you, Neil. Can you see me? I'm at 25.
Yep,
Below,
I've got you. I think the issue we've got is that the lights seem to aim out sideways. So if we move too far above or below each other, we're not getting the real punch of the light. That's what it looks like to me.
Guys, I'm looking to keep moving down. Are you happy to come catch up with me then? If we stay together and we keep our readouts and head down close, we won't lose each other. There is some excellent stuff down here.
Let's go.
Are we able to? I know we are still attached in theory. Are we able to reorientate ourselves so we are facing down?
Yes, you can turn in whatever direction you'd like, and you have a fair degree of lateral movement. The cables have been deliberately made slack, and when you set a new depth, when you decide to go down, the system on the ship says to itself, you want to go down, and it keeps the cables loosely slack. The cables aren't slack enough to fold around because they're needed to get the kelp up, so they have to still remain relatively vertical. You can't wrap them around things, but as long as you stay within reasonable range of the sort of the vertical position, you'll be fine. And the cables will constantly extend to keep an approximate amount of slack on it. So as you go down, they will extend above you. So you have a fair amount of sideways movement. I mean, you could drive the bathies into each other quite easily. You've got a fair amount of sideways movement. You are capable of a few 100 meters of exploration sideways.
The most dangerous game of bumper cars ever.
It could be negative as an idea, yes. So what depth are you going for, Kara?
10,500, please.
Okay.
We're here to find. We're as good as it is at 104. We are here to get to the bottom of things, quite literally.
All right. Can you both please, if you're staying together, can you both please roll a dex with the vac suit at -1?
Yep. Stefan will aim his light downward.
Oh, he's a good old boy, isn't he? He's a good old boy.
Oh, that's good. That's 11 on the dice, +2, -1 for 12, please.
Oh,
Ben.
fantastic.
Keeping hold of those ones.
I've hit a flat 7, unfortunately.
Okay.
Not rough, I like to think.
You are beginning to descend, and as you're getting towards the 10.5 depth, and you're starting to sort of slow down in order to gently arrive at that point, you suddenly hear Kron let out a sharp yell. What's that? And a fraction of a second later, Kara, you see something flick past your viewport at considerable speed.
You all right? Are you okay, Neil? Neil, come over. How are you okay?
Yeah, I saw a thing. It startled me. It's fine. It's gone now, but it startled me.
Oh, I saw it too. It flicked right past me. Very fast moving.
Well, that's good news, because we're dangling on the end of a line like a piece of bait.
I'd be careful, Neil. Betty seems to quite often make up things just to make me look silly. So I'm not entirely convinced, if I'm honest.
Okay.
But what did you see? How big was it?
If I were guessing, maybe 10 meters.
It's pretty big. Well, compared to me, it's pretty big.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I don't have a really good understanding of how big things look here, and my mind's being messed about by the sheer size of these kelp fronds. You look at them and think that's a piece of seaweed, and then you realize that it's a piece of seaweed that's 40 meters across.
Yeah. Yes. Do these things? Sorry, Ben. Question for you rather than the conversation. Do these things have any kind of radar, sonar, anything that's not visual in nature?
Yeah, they do. It's pretty primitive. They have effectively a sonar system. It sends out a pulse and tries to detect echoes returning off lumps of mass. It's intended really to hunt down thick clumps of kelp to find the sturdiest, the thickest pieces. But yes, it certainly can be used to sort of scan immediately around you, but it will only scan in the direction you're facing.
So there's no use responding to our colleagues with one ping only, unless we're facing them.
Yes, the sonar system is only is only in the direction you're facing, so that you can zoom in on the choicest piece of kelp.
Stefan, you'll always be the choicest bit of kelp.
Thanks. It seems very, very random for you to bring up, but thanks. Stefan facing down, presumably in the general direction of the people that descended before him, will Ewan doesn't want to do it, but he will see if he can sense anything with the.
You want to fire off the sonar?
Yeah. With the sonar.
Okay. All right. You fire off the sonar. Can you roll an electronic communications check? Actually, I think there is a sensors check, isn't there? Am I right about that?
Stefan wouldn't know because he has neither. And I wouldn't know because Stefan has neither.
So that's a -3, plus
Yeah.
your intellect, please.
Not my dexterity.
Not your dex, no intellect.
No, it's probably fair.
What is the check for the sensor? Sorry, just out of interest.
Yeah, electronic sensors.
Oh, one I don't have.
Well, the good news is I rolled a 5.
Oh, that's good.
-3 for the sensors, plus 0 for my intellect. So that'll be a 2.
A total 2. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
You send off a pulse, and it immediately produces a little graphic on the screen, and the graphic shows you the presence of various thicker and more dense and less dense pieces of frond.
My sonar is telling me that there are some really dense beings beneath me. If I'm reading this correctly, Betty, I think one of them might be you. It's hard to tell. I'm no expert with sensors. Must be said.
Well, Matt, that sounds like you're one of the densest of beings. Then
No, that's what I was implying about you.
no, I can imply it back.
No.
He who smelt it dealt it, as they say.
Oh, well, I'm rubber and you're rubbish.
There's suddenly another yell from Gerg. It's like, another one. What the hell was that?
Wait, different one or same one?
I don't know. I didn't get its name.
Oh, Gerg's here as well. I feel better now. There's more of us.
Oh, sorry, Kron.
It's hard. Kron, Neil, Gerg, who knows?
So many names.
Who knows?
Agnar, he's back on the ship.
The last time we do aliases.
It's too confusing. I still should have called Kron Stefan. I can't believe you didn't let me.
There are reasons.
Yes, yeah. Clarity reasons, I feel. No, how close? Closer than last time? Same distance?
Maybe a bit closer. Maybe.
Just trying to figure out if they're testing the waters, as it were, or just we're in their habitat.
I'm going to keep my my harvesting device on, just in case it comes at me from the front. It might get snagged in that.
Good idea. I'll get involved too.
Can Stefan send a message up to the ship?
Yes.
Yeah. Hello. We've there's been reports. I haven't seen anything, but there's been reports down here of fast-moving, 10-meter large things, biological beings, masses, creatures. Is there anything particularly active in this area we should know about?
There's a brief pause, and it really is a brief pause, and then you can hear Linto Sard laughing, and he says, "Yeah, that'll be a squid, small one."
Ah, yeah, okay. Okay. Well, as long as it's only squids, we dealt with those in training. That's fine. Thanks. We'll let you know if we get any issues, any squid related issues or otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, call out if you get anything over 30, 40 meters.
Sure. Because then, just sort of waits for for Linto to. Thanks. Nice talk.
So, Linto, how big are their mouths at 30 or 40 meters?
I don't know, 3 or 4 meters across, maybe.
Oh, glad I've been having second puddings.
Yeah. I mean, we always figured they need to be at least 25, maybe as much as 40 to actually get a whole bathy in their mouths.
That's good to know.
Okay. Yeah, that is useful. 30 to 40 meters, contact Linto, bathy eating size. They didn't cover that in basic training.
Are you making notes, Steve?
No, I'm just
It's unlike
verbalizing my thoughts.
Okay,
I find it easier to retain information if I do that, to be honest.
You're so learned.
Self-aware. Thanks, Linto. Anything else we should be aware of in the vicinity?
No.
Any good readouts?
I know you guys aren't actually pushing a lot of kelp back. Are you having trouble harvesting?
We're just dusting off the old, the old cogs. Getting back into the routine. I think we're there. Don't worry. You'll see the influx any time now, right, Betty?
Yeah, I think mine. Although Neil got it working nicely, I think there's still a couple of issues with my harvester. I'm trying to get it working, pressing some buttons here. So hopefully I'll get it working soon, because everything else down here he's done an excellent job with.
Okay. Well, hurry it up. We don't want to be here all week.
No, certainly. Other ships to get out, and Stefan will immediately try and harvest something nearby.
Yeah, just a little bit to prove willing.
Can you roll a dex plus vac suit -1, please?
Stupid rolls, yeah.
Good. Ben's has vanished.
Oh, that's not so good. That's a 6.
Oh, Ben, he'll never know. Quick, change it before he gets back.
Oh, good.
It's
so
a 12.
61, Ben.
Oh, 60. Yes.
61.
Strong roll.
It's a very strong roll.
No,
it's not. It's it's a 6 plus 2 minus 1 for 7, please, Ben.
Okay. You start hauling in some of the some of the kelp, and you can actually feel the vibration as something goes a little bit wrong. There's something deep within this particular frond that's a bit tougher than the machine is expecting. So instead of just chewing through it the way it normally does, it's kind of grinding on it and struggling to haul it in. It's making progress, but you can feel the vibrations and the machinery straining a bit. But it is making a little bit of progress. And as it pulls in, you can see that particular piece of the frond is sort of folded lengthways, sort of along its length. So you're pulling in sort of a double thickness or even a triple thickness, perhaps, of the frond at once. and obviously that might also have something inside it, folded up inside it. And as the thing continues, there's suddenly a sort of gush of this dark black ink that gets blasted out from the cutting machine in front of you, and the chewing of the machine keeps coming, and then eventually you see the machine find it a little bit easier and make a little bit better progress, and then it rapidly finishes and sends one piece of the frond up, leaving just the cut off end directly in front of you, below you.
Betty. I was just doing some harvesting, a little bit of harvesting there. Just I latched onto a piece. It was giving me. I was picking up bad vibrations. It was giving me excitations, but I think it's past now. It's gone. There's some weird gloopy material though in the waters around us, around me certainly.
You're so good at harvesting. It must be all that Darkmoon stuff. I wish I could be a Darkmoon girl.
I wish they all could be.
I'm gonna keep heading down, Steve.
Okay, yep, sure.
What kind of depth are you aiming for?
Let's go down to 11.
11. Okay.
All the references tonight.
None of them are good.
Spinal Tap. We've got the Beach Boys. What more could you want?
Is everyone going to 11?
Yeah, sure.
Well, that's where these bathies go. They go to 11.
They're very good bathies. Most bathies only go to 10, you know. But these ones, they go to 11.
It's when you need one. When you need one more.
Okay. Can everybody please make a Dex plus Vac Suit -1?
This is where we realise that somebody scrawling on a napkin put the calibrations for the bathies wrong, and it's not 11,000 meters. It's whatever the feet to inches equivalent is of 11,000 meters. My brain couldn't work fast enough to get the reference in there.
I've hit 7 again. I've hit 7 again for the second time in a row. Oh, just missing out today.
Mine is a 6 dexterity. Was that right, Ben?
Plus
2 minus 1 is a 7 total.
So a total of 7?
Yeah.
Okay. As you go deeper, you hear Kron call out, "Not seeing anything. Not seeing anything yet. How about you guys?" And just as you're about to reach 11,000, Kara, you see like an undulating shape. It's ghostly white in color, very pale gray in color, flick through the lights in front of your bathie. It doesn't, because it's sort of moving almost like a sine wave, it actually seems to flick vertically like a wiper going across the viewport, rather than pull along like something being drawn across it. And at exactly the same second, you see exactly the same thing, Stefan. The same sort of feeling of a thing sweeping up past you.
Did you see that?
I certainly did. I'll be honest. I'm trying to be cool and hold it together, but I really don't like it down here.
It's
a big.
Do you know what it is? It's the all of a sudden something's on you and then it's gone. It's the lack of visuals. It worries me.
I feel very much like an outsider right now. That we're going into something else's home. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I didn't before, but I do now. Thanks. That's not helped. How big did you see? I didn't catch a glimpse at all. As long as we don't hit 25, right? That's what we were told.
Yeah, 20. You can go for 25. Just make sure you don't go too close to its gnashing maw.
Gnashing more. Why would you just say mouth? That's a lot less ominous. Why would you make it worse? It's like you're trying.
I've heard that in
Jeez.
times of severe stress, sailors like to
Spin
make
yarns.
dark jokes. Yes.
No. Yeah, that dark humour.
Exactly.
I suppose at least gives us something to.
Well, we can't do light
to
humour
laugh
down
about.
here. I can barely see in front of his face.
Oh, that is true. That is true. Listen, we're getting close to the old 12,000. Did you hear what? I don't know whether it was in jest or not, but I'm sure Linto said if we go below 12,000, no one's coming to get us should things go wrong.
I don't blame them. We're a long way down.
No, of course not.
It's dark.
Look at it.
Right. I'd like to think they'll pull us up at least.
Yeah, I mean, assuming we're still attached. Things going wrong implied to me that that's not necessarily going to be the case.
Cable's pretty strong, at least for my arms. I don't know about a 40, 50 metre tentacle. Could be for it like butter. It's one of its vicious, rabid beaks could probably go through it in an instant.
I'm all for one for your creative, expressive use of language, but can we maybe tone it down a little bit whilst we're actually in peril? Do you think that would be all right?
I'm terrified, and through my terror, I'm getting like an artistic moment. When we get back on the Baltic Star, I think I'm gonna put a huge mural down the full length of the emo side of the ship.
A squid mural.
A squid mural, yeah.
It's at that moment you get a call over the system from Zoe. How are you guys doing down there?
I think
Stefan will start harvesting again.
I think we found
Please go on.
I think we found the natives, Zoe, and they're restless.
All right. So I was chatting with Sard, and he said something interesting that I think he figured everyone would already know, but he said, "Turn your lights out."
That's not going to make us feel any better about the situation. I'm going to be honest.
Apparently, you can find the kelp using your sonar. And if you turn the lights out, not just the ones outside, but the internal lights as well.
All of the light. Right. Is this some kind of hazing? Are we being hazed here? It doesn't
Anyway,
feel like.
Try it.
How good were you with the sonar last time, Steve?
The sonar. Well, I picked up some dense matter beneath me, lots of kelp. I definitely didn't pick up any squid. But then I don't know that they weren't there. So probably pretty good.
If the lights are sort of exciting the creatures, then,
Flash them.
and we can't do, and what difference does it make? Do you want to see your impending doom? What difference does it make? We're helpless down here anyway, aren't we? So
I suppose at this depth, should things go badly,
yeah,
lights will just go out anyway, right?
Exactly. And this way, if it's super dark, I can just focus totally on the sonar, not even look out at what might be coming at me. You know.
It's like, do you remember that time we were in the sauna on the Baltic Star and we turned all the lights off? It'll just be like that. We'll just imagine that we're in the sauna with the Baltic Star. Make sizzling noises, and then I can imagine it's the the steam coming off of the hot coals.
I never told you, did I?
relaxing.
That evening, I'd taken Star Drop, so I didn't have it quite the same experience as you. I
it
could
was really
the starlight's like, yeah, I could tell from how naked you got, thinking no one else could see you.
Yeah.
I wish I hadn't taken them. I was clawing my own eyes out to try and.
That's what happens when you're not completely honest with your crewmates.
Well,
So,
I'm gonna be honest with you now. This terrifies me, but if Zoe says it's the way to do it, I think it's got to be the way to do it. It might.
did you hear that, Neil? Are you in?
Yeah, I got it. I'll tell you what. You turn yours out, and then I'll turn mine out.
I've heard that before. Not from you. Okay. Unless you want to go first, Betty.
Betty flicks the switches.
Okay. Your outside lights flick off, and then your inside lights flick off. It's not technically completely dark because you've still got the faint glow of Stefan's and Kron's lights illuminating the fronds in a rather spooky, ghostly way around you. But then a couple of seconds later, Kron's flick out. And Stefan, are you turning yours off as well?
Stefan will take a deep breath, and before he does, he'll grab hold of one last frond to harvest and then turn his lights out.
Okay.
Just so he doesn't have to rely on sonar. These very poor skills.
For a fraction of a second, just for a moment, while your eyes adjust, you've got that little residual image, like just a little bit of white in your eyes, and then you realize that it is now completely pitch dark. You can't see anything. No illumination on the controls, no illumination inside the cabin at all. And then you start to realize that actually there is a little bit of light. There's bioluminescence down here.
Ah.
And though the kelp doesn't seem to give off any light, you can see this gentle curving arch. It looks like a tiny sparkling purple and deep red lights following a little curving shape that's between the three of the bathies. And then you see that it moves like it's a single coherent piece rather than lots of little things together. And then at one end, you see that it's got one of those flat spatula-like paddles, showing that it's actually a tentacle with a flat paddle at the end. And it gently rolls over, showing the vicious teeth on the inside of the tentacle. The tentacle itself is probably, well, at least 50 meters long, because it gently disappears out of your sight and you see it move quite smoothly across. And then suddenly there's a little burst of brighter light and a squid sort of shoots past, trailing its tentacles behind it. And as it accelerates, it gives off a little pulse of brighter light. It's still not very bright, but in this pitch darkness, you can pick it out. And it drifts past a huge eye on one side, staring at you. The other two eyes rotated around the other side where you can't see them. It's that same ghostly grey colour, but now the lights inside are sort of dancing across it. It's probably somewhere between 75 and 100 meters long.
Oh, God.
And that's where we'll take a little break.
Oh. Why
That's,
now?
that's good because I do suddenly need a big poo.
It's very atmospheric. Not the poo. The
Well, it will be,
description,
believe me.
mate.
It's going to be incredibly atmospheric.
Not quite sure what that means, but okay.
Right, we'll be back in just a few minutes.
I know.
Ben.
It's time to recount another of the stories I was once told by our former ship's steward. I can't verify the accuracy of these stories. After all, he once told me he invented teamwork. Once, he told me, he faced another challenge on the world that was far behind the technology typical in the Imperium. It seems that the locals were entirely out of perilous and mighty quests to undertake. Instead, they asked him for his help finding a broken hand tool from inside a forest. Yes, really. Our heroic steward probably felt this task was beneath him, though bear in mind his chosen career was pouring drinks into drunks and pouring drunks into taxis. Anyway, as he related it, he could only find one piece of the hammer and decided to try again, retracing his steps to see if he'd missed anything. And, well, he was interrupted at that point, so I never got to hear how he, no doubt, succeeded in his mission. No doubt at all. Our steward might have been the greatest hero to ever ply the less glamorous parts of the known galaxy, but he was also unafraid to get his hands dirty, doing the most rudimentary tasks. And it's for that reason that we still remember him so very fondly and toast him like this. Please raise your glasses to the late, great Greyhill Bast.
To the late great Greyhill Bast.
Greyhill Bast.
Okay, so you have just seen a very, very large squid. A very, very large squid.
It's a very large squid, Steve. Very, very large.
Yeah. Do you know what's? Remind me to thank Zoe later. I like how her advice means that we can see less, but we can see more of the danger.
It's nice.
Yeah.
Okay. The squid is moving.
Kind of
it's
nice,
beginning to spread its tentacles out in something of a fan shape, and each of you is within reach of one of those giant tentacles.
No. Shall we keep moving down? Let's not stay at the same height as the squid.
Yeah. That's probably a good idea. Let's move away, down.
Okay, can everybody please roll a Dex plus Vac-Suit -1?
Ooh.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's a 10.
Oh, yes.
+2 -1, please, Ben. For an 11.
Okay, the two of you, despite the fact that the situation is...
Oh, sorry, 8. I'm okay. That's all right.
Okay, is dark. You begin to accelerate downwards fairly smoothly, and you see quickly the squid is being left behind above you. However, you hear Kron call out, "Okay, damn it, hold on. I'm joining you as fast as I can."
Oh, no.
And the thing begins to sort of slide down, gently pursuing you, but it becomes clear that it's got something a little bit above you that it's paying more attention to. Are you aiming for 12,000 meters?
Are we?
Well, that's apparently
Exit
the depth.
Stage down, pursued by squid.
I believe that was the depth when we looked at the thing. 12,000 should be where issues are happening. Let's go. Let's get to 12,000.
Is that the?
That's the magic number.
Yes,
I believe,
yes.
unless I've remembered it
No,
wrong.
I get you.
I vaguely remember trying to get down to 12,000. Good. Because it's a little bit shallower here. That was part of the things. Am I lying,
Wait,
Ben?
shallower than 11,000.
12,000
20,000.
is under the. It's the depth of the ocean here.
Yes. That's right. See, I did the research, Ewan. I was on that computer. I was mapping it out. I was doing all the hard work while you were schmoozing and drinking and telling terrible stories.
Toasting Zoe's birthday.
Yeah.
I think you'll find.
Yeah.
Well, if that's the depth, let's not aim exactly for the depth.
Oh, let's just float above it by 20 meters. Yeah, great. Stay there for an hour, just floating above it.
Okay, sure.
All right.
You worry me sometimes, Steve.
12,000 it is.
Steve,
As
Steve.
Steve sets his depth for
You
11,080.
you begin to move very smoothly and rapidly down. Kron trailing a little way behind, and as you peer up, you can still see the squid sort of keeping pace with you roughly, but perhaps closer to Kron than to you two. It isn't very long before you realise that you can actually see the seabed coming up towards you.
Oh, yes.
You can see it because it is coated in life. Everywhere you look, there are little bioluminescent crab creatures, jellyfish, little worms, and sea slug type creatures. Um, they are coating the seabed, illuminating it quite obviously. I wouldn't say brightly. It's not a huge amount of light, but you can definitely see as it rises up towards you. Can you both please?
Mm,
You know what? We're going to go for a survival check, please, with intellect.
yeah.
I see.
Survival check with intellect. Intellect is good. Survival's okay.
Yeah, okay. Mine's a 10 plus 0 for intellect, minus 3 for survival for a 7, please.
So,
Oh, mine is a 6 plus a 2 for intellect is an 8.
okay, all right. The seabed has been. It looks oddly like it's been picked completely clean by these animals that are crawling all over it. There doesn't seem to be any actual seabed. It's like a solid sheet of dead flat bedrock is down here. The only thing that looks to be interfering with its just perfectly smooth, perfectly flat surface is where the stalk, the anchoring point for a piece of kelp frond, is attached to it. And the kelp does not luminesce, but the creatures around it illuminate the base a little bit. The points where the kelp touch, they're like a really large tree trunk. They're a very sturdy piece. And you can see as they go up, they're already starting to flatten into what will eventually become these vast fronds. But for the first 10 or 15 meters, perhaps, they are just a round, solid, thick trunk of kelp. The creatures are crawling all over those and all over the flat surface, but they've obviously picked clean any other life than the kelp down there because the surface is just smooth, pure rock. Looks dead flat. It could be a tennis court, basically.
Remind me to book our next shore leave here, Steve. Beautiful place, huh? So full of vibrant fauna and flora. And it's a wonderful place to be. I'm not at all freaked out.
Good. That's good to know.
But
I think it's terrifying.
it's freakishly smooth, freakishly barren, but this is the depth. This is what's been marked off. So it's got to be something. We're gonna need to have a little mooch around. We've come this far. I want to find out why this has been marked off.
Okay.
Maybe flick your lights on and start hammering that sonar. No!
So, do you want to turn your lights on? And if so, are you going to turn on the sonar as well, or are you just going to do the sonar? Or
I might start with just a sonar to start with, please.
okay,
Start the sonar.
One
Okay.
thing only.
We'll see. I'll do a little. I'll spin beautifully, balletically, ping off the
All right.
sonar in a few directions.
You spin around, pinging. Fair enough.
That's just like a night out on the booze for Cara.
As you do. Yep. So you spin around, and the sonar reveals, first of all, these kelp trunks are very, very dense at this end. They are thick, fibrous matter, very, very sturdy bits of greenery. The sonar, where it hits the actual subsurface, that solid sort of rock floor, gives a very sharp echo, very hard echo. That's completely obvious, as is the very thick echo you're getting back from the kelp. Can you roll an electronic sensors check with intellect for me, please?
Oh, sensors. With intellect, though, did you say?
Yep.
So it's a -3.
We are
for my
woefully
lacking senses.
ill-equipped.
I know. The wrong people have gone down. This would have been perfect for Soraya and her scouting ways. But as it is, I'm sure Agnar could have been suitably floofy.
Agnar would have been just as bad as to be honest.
Right, here we go. -3 for senses, but +2 for intellect. So I'm rolling at a -1.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll get 7 minus 1. A lot of 7s tonight. 7 minus 1 is 6.
Okay. As you're sort of trying to analyze the image, you can hear Kron's voice. He's sounding a bit nervous as he's coming down to join you. I think it's following me. It's a bit of a scary moment. Oh, hang on a minute. I think it's got the cable. Something tugged on it.
Whose cable?
My cable.
Ah, okay. That's right.
And on your sonar, as it pings out, you can see Kron's bathy coming down, but it's coming down really fast. Faster than it should be.
The first time we bring Kron on anything, we've got to keep the man safe on the ship in future. Steve, are we gonna? I reckon we bang the lights on, shine it straight in the thing's 2 of its 3 eyes, try and dazzle it suddenly. I don't know. It can't be used to light down here. It might make it turn on us, but I can't see it not doing something if the lights are shone in its eyes. What do you think?
Yeah, mate. Yeah. Let's start flashing.
But
Okay.
just like your drunken student nights.
So you're going to both turn on your lights as intensely as you can and try and aim them at the squid?
Yes, please. Yeah.
All right. Can you roll a vac suit and dex and -1, please?
Can you roll a rave, please? Sorry, Ben. What was that?
Dex, vac suit, -1.
Dex, vac suit, -1.
Or if you prefer, dex and vac suit, but it's a slightly harder check. However we do it.
I don't think it's going to make much difference, Ben, with the roll that I made. That is a 3 +2 for Dex.
Okay.
Looks like I'm doing everything myself. 8 plus
Yeah.
plus 0 minus 0 is 8 in total.
Okay. All right. You both flick on your lights. Disoriented. Stefan isn't facing the way he thought he was, and the lights just illuminate the sort of hard surface in front of you. Lots of glowing creatures skitter out of the way of the light. But Kara, your light manages to catch this giant form. The squid is enormous. You can't see all of it in your beam of light, but what you can see is very big. And indeed, it has one of its tentacles on top of Kron's bathy, and it's gently pushing it down in its terms, gently. But it's such a vast creature that it looks like the Harlem Globetrotter pushing a basketball down. And as it hits your light, it does indeed flinch and peels away, letting go and rolling off a little way, pulling back and hanging there motionless. And as it does, can you please roll for me a? We're going to go with a survival plus intellect, and both of you, please.
I thought you say roll for initiative then. It's like, we're doomed. That's it. Life is over. Oh, survival and intellect. Okay, that's a better roll. And that's
For you, maybe.
Yeah, for me. 7 plus 2 is a 9 for me.
Okay.
Mine is an 8 minus 3, please, Ben.
Okay. 5. All right.
5. Yeah.
Stefan desperately tries to reorient his craft, but it's hard to do. It's unfamiliar equipment, and obviously there's a certain amount of panic and pressure. But you manage to watch as the squid pulls away. Kron's bathy is still plummeting downwards. It's dark. He hasn't put his lights on. He hasn't got his internal lights turned on. But it is slowing down now that it's no longer got the squid pushing it. And you watch as it impacts fairly solidly against the hard surface, just squishing a couple of those little creatures on the bottom. Stops there and sort of rolls over. And as it rolls over, you realize that it is no longer tethered to the cables.
Oh, no.
And that's where we're going to call it for tonight.
Oh, Kron.
It's really reassuring in the grand scheme of things.
Oh, it's my favourite of all. Oh, we're going to have one of our midweek discussions, Ewan. Oh,
Do we really?
I don't know. Poor, look at there. Look, he's happy there. Look, with his cup of tea, having a chat with the rest of the crew in happier times.
Without care in the world.
Oh, he was always miserable. He always had cares in the world until Rose's cat came along and showed him how to love and how to be loved. He was married to the ship. Oh, Kron. Well, thanks, Ben. I hate you.
Yes,
I
know.
it, Ben. Thanks.
He just didn't roll very well this evening. I'm sorry.
That's all right. Well, he's not dead yet, I don't think. Maybe.
Oh, I can't imagine he's dead yet. He's probably got minutes left.
Exactly.
We'll
be fine.
At least minutes.
And it can't take more than about 4 hours to get back up to the surface.
Oh, yeah. I mean, probably not even 7.
Exactly. He's all right. Keep telling us he's going to be all right. That's the main thing. Thank you, Ben. Thank you, Ewan. And thank you, dear viewers.
Indeed.
Ed, if you're still here, thank you so much. Storms, if you're still here, thank you so much. Anyone else that's been lurking this evening, thank you so much for joining us as our travelling gets dark and spooky. Lurking in the depths of the stream, waiting to pounce upon us.
Well, thank you very much, anyone who caught it live or catches up on VOD. Thank you very much for joining us.
Indeed.
And thank you, guys. It was fun.
It was certainly terrifying. Thank you.
Always terrifying.
We don't often do a proper scary one.
Oh.
Do we not?
Not that often.
All right, we don't. It's very unpleasant down there. There's no way. There's no way out. It's nerve-wracking. So yeah, let's. I'm all for brunches and fun at the next planet we end up on.
Yeah, shopping trips basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We,
yeah.
we need to find. We need to choose a planet based on how many malls it has.
Mauls,
Yeah.
mauling creatures,
Yeah.
creatures that maul.
Vicious maul.
That's what we're aiming
The
for.
next time you guys have brunch, I can imagine you're going to order some calamari and you're going to stab it with forks really hard.
Yes. It's about time we had a change. Everybody stop.
Yes, thank you very much, guys.
Thank you. We should be back tomorrow evening, as it stands. I believe we're doing something a little bit different, Ben.
We are the idea tomorrow. We have been working on this project to put together. I don't know exactly how we would describe it. Something like a resource pack or a resource environment for gaming. We have taken a little corner of the south coast of England that we sort of made up and have then taken it through its entire history from prehistoric times all the way through to the 21st century with its businesses and towns and the arrival of railways and eventually an airport and the building of docks and the establishment of a ferry service and everything. And the plan is to eventually make this available so you can use it as a setting to set any kind of games. And we've been eagerly explaining to each other what games we would each like to run in it, and we have too many ideas. But we last night got almost to the end of the main year-on-year sequence for the whole area, and we didn't quite finish. We got to into the 2000s, but we've still got a couple of decades to go. So we thought we would finish it on stream and talk through what we've been doing and show you what we've been up to, and hopefully that will be fun.
Yes, I'll what I can do is I'll be able to load up the because we've drawn it all, but after we've drawn it, sorry, with the camera's off because I'm flicking around. After we've drawn it each time, I've gone on to the Incarnate website, a good map website, I would say, and then sort of updated it on there as well. So I can share the Incarnate websites if you two so wish, as we do our thing. So I can have that as part
I
of
think
the
that's a
stream.
lovely idea.
And then we can sort of look at the history. I can show some of the bits we've got, like that we've talked through and written down and things. So yeah, it should be a nice way to spend a short bit of time tomorrow evening.
Yes, so we'll hopefully finish off that main run, and as you say, we'll have the opportunity to take a look at some pretty maps and talk through some of the bits that have happened already in the story.
Yeah, I like it. Certainly much less terrifying than anything we've come across to that.
Well, except for that cave on the beach.
Oh.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And the potential for murder.
Yes. And there was that very, very infamous crime on the train.
Oh man.
Yeah, the beef train.
And that massive
massive
explosion.
The explosion, yeah.
There was a vast explosion, you're right. Yeah.
There's been some murders, I believe, some cultish murders around some stones.
Some things have happened.
Missing
Stuff
kids.
has gone down.
Yeah.
Also, somebody at one point opened a bicycle shop. I mean, dark things have been going on.
Oh man, terrible, terrible happenings. And one town not getting a pub until the 1970s.
Yeah, that. Oof. I mean, there's powerful thirst in that village.
Well, it should be fun. I know.
So if you can withstand decades of publess activity in a small village.
It's okay. It's there now. It's there now, though. So
Join in.
It's there now, at least.
So anyway, we're gonna have a go at that tomorrow evening and just talk through what we've been doing and hopefully finish off that main run. Because after we've done that, we've got to do some town plans, and then we're almost there, aren't we?
Yeah, yeah. The rule sets all need a tweaky rule set. Do some town plans, and then do our first season of episodes, I guess. And then we can set it loose on people if they so wish.
Yeah, be good.
So, nice.
Right.
That's the plan.
That's the
Okay.
plan. Right. Good night, both. Good night, everyone.
Good night, all.
Thank you very much, everyone.
And see you tomorrow evening if you're about and interested in doing some stuff.
Yeah, I like stuff.
Yeah,
I don't know what else to call it. It's
Favorite
stuff.
thing to do.
stuff.
We're not really playing a game. We're just doing stuff.
Full stuff ahead.
Big stuff. See ya. Toodaloo.
Good night.
Good night.